everybody. It's me, Kirsten. It's the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and I'm here with you and the November 3rd weekly energy forecast channeled message, Love from the Tarot. So for the week of November 3rd, we have pulled the Six of Wands card. We've talked a little bit about the Six of Wands. I think it came up in another weekly episode. What I'll just say is that the energy for November is one of the best descriptions or like synopsis I could give you for that energy is the Serenity Prayer. Do you remember the Serenity Prayer from any addiction work or any 12-step work? You know, Source, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Like, Lord, let me be with what is. Give me the courage to change the things I can, which means, like, let me see clearly where my responsibility lies, where my energy lies, where my work lies, and let me have the wisdom to know the difference. So how do I tease those things apart? How do I see the world as clearly as possible? How do I see the totality of what is, and how do I take responsibility for the totality of what is? I love the Serenity Prayer. It's something that I remember hearing it when I was young and thinking like, yes, there's something really brilliant there. And when I was sitting with the November energy, it came to me again. And I just thought it encapsulates so much about where our work lies and where the balance of personal responsibility and life circumstance, like where those things come to a crossroad and how we navigate from that place. With eyes wide open, with integrity, but also with real humility around. There are things that are beyond us, and that's okay. We are just finishing up the week of the 10 of Wands. That is a week where burdens were everywhere. Like your sense of what you're carrying, whether it was still appropriate for you to carry it, what you were ready to put down, really came up pretty clearly, I would imagine. The full moon energy was intense. I got very, very sick right around that time. And I'm sure a lot of that had to do with trying to carry too much. Not necessarily like logistically in my life, but possibly energetically. Part of the work in healing, whether it's physical or emotional, spiritual, mental, is to put down what's not yours. And that really does tie into what I was just saying about the Serenity Prayer. Like, where does your responsibility begin and end? And how do you navigate that? It reminds me as I say that of the energy we pulled back when we were first doing this podcast around the Emperor energy. Like, what is my domain? What is mine? When we navigate that like we just did in the 10 of Wands, in the 10 of Wands week, it can feel like a push-pull. It can feel confusing and sticky. Sometimes we're carrying things that are not ours, and yet they've become a very familiar load in our backpack. And so putting them down can come with mixed emotions. It can come with both relief and sadness, relief and grief, relief and resentment at the same time. The Six of Wands, as we mentioned back in the day, I haven't listened to that podcast, maybe I'll go back and listen to it, is the six bringing the harmony to the fire, the wand energy. So harmonizing your life force, your vitality is a great week for taking care of yourself, a great week for healing, like I'm doing, a great week for feeling that recovery feeling. Like I was out in my driveway this morning and the sun was shining. I mean, the autumn leaves, right? Am I right? Am I right? They're just so beautiful. And I was looking around at the colors, feeling my energy returning and just thinking, yeah, it's good to be alive. This is enough. Like, I'm really here for this. I'm really grateful for this moment. There's something about recognizing the specificity, the uniqueness of the human experience of this incarnation that never fails to wash you in gratitude and wash you in wonder. I finished the Akashic training yesterday and it was such a beautiful day working with people in the source field all day. The land at Salt House is so magnificent, and just being there and all the colors and the way the light came through the room, the way people were traveling with their own light, the way they were accessing their own connection to the source field. I just had this deep sense of it's very specific to be human. It's very specific to be incarnate here now, and such a gift. I offer that as we transition from the 10 of Wands week into the 6 of Wands week, that you can grab that gratitude and find it for yourself. Find for yourself, like, what is working in my life? Where is there harmony in my life force, in my vitality, in my creativity, in my sexuality, in my passion, in my chi, like my core life force, my fire? The Six of Wands is the card of victory. That's what we call it in the tarot. It's called victory. And it means that the harmonization of those things has brought you a sense of contentment, brought you a sense of harmony. There is a sense in this card, a challenge in this card, that hubris comes to the party. Such a funny word, and such a word that has come up twice for me this week. The challenge with the Six of Wands is often a challenge around arrogance. So I am better than, I am raised above, because in the card, he's up high, they're up high on a horse, and there are the people carrying the wands are below. But the word that comes through when I hold it today is hubris, and hubris is a little bit different, right? Hubris is this idea, this like over belief in oneself. What do we do with that? Is it a negative thing? Like, what does that mean to you? How does that fall in the realm of, I don't know, sins for you? Life and language, we're so weird. But the idea of hubris, what does it mean to have excessive confidence in oneself? I don't know, but that is a word that's coming through with this card. What it feels like when I see that word and when I feel that word is like a sense of blindness to the other. And that's the way I'm translating it and translating the way it's coming through with the tarot. When I see that, when I'm holding the Six of Wands and I see that, it has this sense of self-involvement, this also came up in the Akasha yesterday, the idea of self-centeredness, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be it's a pretty neutral idea to be centered in self, considered extremely positive. It can also be considered extremely negative. The sense here in this card is there's a focus on self. What does that mean for you? That could be something you actually really need, a medicine for you right now. And it could be something that is causing illusion. I guess the way it's coming through. Like when I'm seeing it, I'm seeing this figure focused on the horizon, which again also came up last week, like put your eyes to the horizon. Maybe there's just this rebalancing happening between self and other. It seems very clear to me that relationships, intimate relationships, are in this acceleration process right now, this kind of accelerator of healing and completion. And that is just happening for many people in many ways. Maybe what we're working with as we move from the 10 of Wands to the 6 of Wands is, how do I put down what's no longer mine to carry, but still have capacity to be with you, still have capacity to celebrate you and carry you when necessary. That might be the challenge that comes up this week. How do I find harmony in myself? How do I find satisfaction in myself and also be with you? Is there a way this week that you might be blind to the needs of others, or might assume that what you would consider love, what you would consider care, what you would consider connection is also what that other person would consider love and care and connection? We often say that, like, I'm not a big love languages fan, but when people talk about love languages, right, it's like, how do you want to receive love? What feels good to you? And how do you want to give love? What feels easy for you to give? Because it's easy for me to give doesn't always mean it's easy for the other. That's the best way for the other person to receive. Coming back to this idea of the contact point, the boundary line. How do I stay in harmony at the contact point, at the boundary line? How do I stay harmonized and self-centered, centered in self, and also come to meet you, also witness you, also see you, also be present with you? You have victory this week if you're able to touch that, tap into that sense of satisfaction, of contentment. Feel the gratitude for that. And if you're struggling to reach that, I would offer for you to look around. So often we achieve these things that we wait months, years, lifetimes for. Like, we have these goals we set and we reach them, and then we just turn our eyes and like keep moving. And we don't really bask in what we've created, what we've built, what we've achieved. Give your victory the due. Give your contentment its due. Give the work you've put into this moment its due, and celebrate the fact that you've arrived someplace that you probably really dreamed about, really wished for quite a while, in one aspect of or another, in one dimension or another. The messaging coming through reminds me very much of the messaging in November, where it's like there's real clarity and there's real confusion. And so the Six of Wands is saying, like, be with you, be with your contentment, your victory, your satisfaction, and also what else is happening? What else is going on around that? What have you missed? What is outside your purview? What are you distracted from by sitting with yourself? And what are you going to do with that? There's no right or wrong answer. Saying I need more of myself is never wrong. Saying I want to be more with other is never wrong. But I think there's going to be a little bit of a, just a discovery at the boundary line of, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I sit with myself, stay with myself, be satisfied with myself, and also care for you? Interesting. let's leave it at that. As you can tell, my throat's still crazy, but I'm on the mend and I feel really good about the 6 of Wands week. For me, I will take it as a notice to be grateful for where I am. Be grateful for what I've worked so hard to build in my life. That is a victory, that is satisfaction, that is contentment, that is beauty. Oh, Stevie likes that. And also I will take it as the notice to take care of myself and work with my own healing, my own rebalancing, be with my fire energy in a way that feels like love, like care, like tending to myself. And then I will also use it as, notice to pay attention and notice where I might be missing something, particularly regarding the people that I love, people that are closest to me in my life. So I offer you this victory card for the week ahead. I offer you the beautiful golden light of November, a reminder that your dreams are going to matter this month. I'll get into that in the longer forecast, the longer channeled message. But moon cards are about our dreams always. So if that's not something that's on your awareness, on your radar, I offer you that as well. Okay, sending so much love, sending you, just everything you need, baby. Sending you everything you need. Big hug and much love. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.